Okay, recording has started, I think.
It is to your computer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. My computer clock says it's 7:33, so I'm bowing in. Hi everyone. Before we introduce the monastics, just like every great performance and great session, there's always an opening act before the speaker comes up. And we've pre-decided that the person doing the opening number for tonight is none other than Will Chua. Please take out your ukulele and he'll start singing this song, No Dharma, No Drama. Hey, you're on, man. Unmute.
Okay, that was quite sudden, huh?
Hey, we rehearsed this. Hello, Will Chua.
Okay. So I've been arrowed to sing this song, and maybe I don't know whether Suko, you want to introduce the song or you?
No, please introduce it, Will.
Okay, so back in 2018, when Sister Boi Nghiem came to Asia, we spent a lot of time together. She took care of our Singapore Sangha with thetopic track and Sister Nghiem at that time, and after that, we went to the year-end retreat in Thailand, and Sister Boi Nghiem was actually not feeling well, but still managed to organize the whole retreat, or as part of the organizing committee then. And I'm very shy to look at myself as a spotlight, sorry. And then during that retreat, we had a 5 mindfulness training sharing, and out of that sharing came this phrase, which is when your life has so much drama, then you look for the Dharma. So, and after that sharing, maybe Sister Boi Nghiem will share more about it later. But after that, we decided to write a song or put together a song about this phrase. So no drama, no Dharma. So this song is sort of came from that wonderful retreat that we had. Okay. So.
Okay. Well, before you play, I just want to add some information so our friends can have a good laugh about you. Because I invited Will for the 5 mindfulness training sharing, and I asked him about his love life, and that's when I realized that he had 5 failed relationships. And I said to him, your life was full of drama. That is why now you are looking for the Dharma, and that is your karma. And now you are in Nirvana. So Will wrote this song, and I listened to it, and it's very insightful. Our teacher often say no mirth, no lotus, but and I also want to be creative and say no drama, no Dharma, and there is always Dharma in the drama. So Stevie Wonder, please sing.
Okay. Okay, so please bear with me, everyone. Oh, hang on. I'll post the lyrics. Okay, just give me a second. So that everybody can sing along.
So it could be on here, chat.
Yeah. Okay, the lyrics. Can you guys see the lyrics on chat? Okay. Oh, darling, can you see the rain in my tears, the sun in my fears, the forest in my hell, the ocean stirring, the hermit springing from my shell. Oh, darling, can you see Dharma in this drama? A lotus in this mud, a calling in this karma. Questions burning, actions springing from my heart, from my heart, from my heart.
Beautiful. Cái chữ gì? Cái gì mà lotus gì? A lotus in this mud.
Được như vậy. Bên kia họ hai spoon.
Đây mọi người.
Everyone, this is Michelle. Though I'm spotlighting the monastics because, it's nicer to look at them. We agreed with Sister Boi that we will not do a very long introduction. We'll leave more time for the Dharma talk, the Q&A. But of course, since they are here, it's only nice that we should just do a very short introduction. So the three monastics that you see here today on our screens, they are from the Magnolia Grove Monastery. This is one of the three plant village monasteries in the US. They are in Mississippi. So for those of you who have seen the Walk With Me movie, a lot of the nice, beautiful scenes are all from there. So for today's session, we've given some quick preamble earlier in the WhatsApp chat. But interesting thing is, in the email that we sent to Sister Boi Nghiem, the title, a clickbait, was Trans-Pacific Zoom Call. And in fact, this is really the first time that we're ever doing a Trans-Pacific Zoom Call, with monastics overseas, far away, and here with the Joyful Garden Sangha. So we're certainly hopeful that this is one in many more sessions to come. So on the left of your screen is Sister Boi Nghiem. She will be guiding us in the guided meditation later. On the right of the screen is Brother Khoi. So some of you maybe who has gone to Thailand may be familiar with him. It's a very familiar face. This just came from Thailand to the US. And of course, in the center is the famous Sister Boi Nghiem. She's known as Sister Trooper. She's known as Sister Oprah. And for all of you who follow Oprah's Super Soul Sunday, today will be her Super Soul Monday. And then we'll let her take it forward, and we'll let her introduce more of herself later. So maybe I'll pass the time over to the monastics. It's time for the guided sit, but maybe if the monastics would like to say some few words as well, over to you. Bowing out.
Dear brother, dear sister, dear friends, perhaps I'd like to invite Brother Khoi to just say a few words to our friends before we have the guided sitting meditation. Thank you for coming.
So, hi everyone, I feel joyful. I'm happy to be here with you. That is my first time on Zoom with the lay Sangha over Pacific. So I hope today we're gonna have a beautiful session together and regain our peace and energy. So let us get started. So we're gonna do guided sitting meditation together. So let us sit comfortably and relaxedly. We may like to close your eyes and go back, bring your mind back to your body and feel.
Dear respected Thai, dear brother, sister, and dear friends, now we have 15 minutes of guided sitting meditation. Allow your whole body to relax and release the tension that you may have in your body and in your feelings. Sit with your back upright, your head, your neck, and your spine should be in a straight line, with your shoulders relaxed. You can close your eyes or keep them slightly open. Keep a gentle smile on your lips. Relax all the muscles in your face. Allow your feet to rest and flat on the floor. Follow your in breath and out breath. Bring your mind back to your body. This is your precious opportunity to rest, relax, heal, and be yourself. You are solid and free right here and right now. You will hear 2 sentences followed by 2 keywords. These keywords help us to be concentrated, not for us to think about. We will begin guided sitting meditation with 3 sounds of the bell. Come back to your breathing. In and out. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. In, out. Breathing in, my breath goes deep. Breathing out, my breath goes slowly. Deep, slowly. Breathing in, I feel calm. Breathing out, I smile. Calm, smile. Aware of my body, I breathe in, relaxing my body. I breathe out. Aware of body, relaxing body. Looking at the roots of the pain in my body, I breathe out. Sorry. Looking at the roots of the pain in my body, I breathe in. Smiling to the roots of the pain in my body, I breathe out. Roots of physical pain, smiling. Aware of the state of my mind, I breathe in, smiling to the state of my mind, I breathe out. Aware of mind, smiling. Looking of the roots of the pain in my mind, I breathe in, smiling to the roots of the pain in my mind, I breathe out. Roots of my pain, smiling. Looking at the roots of the joy of letting go, I breathe in, smiling to the roots of the joy of letting go, I breathe out. Roots of joy of abandoning, smiling. Looking at the roots of the joy of freedom, I breathe in. Smiling to the roots of the joy of freedom, I breathe out. Roots of joy of freedom, smiling. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. In, out. Dear Sangha, the session of guided meditation now is ended. And you can open your eyes, looking at the screen and smiling. You can massage your face, your shoulders.
Boi Nghiem, Sister Boi Nghiem, thank you so much for the guided sit just now.
Thank you.
I can feel my pain and my joy all in one. And it's really nice to hear the birds outside at Magnolia Grove and the very familiar chime that tells us that it's 7 a.m. over at Mississippi. While everyone is massaging and stretching a little bit, we're gonna now play a video which will be a great segue into the Dharma talk that Sister Boi Nghiem is going to be sharing with us. So stay tuned.
Tell me the one about the virus again, then I'll go to bed.
But my boy, you're growing weary, sleepy thoughts about your head.
Please, that one's my favourite. I promise, just once more.
Okay, snuggle down, my boy, though I know you know full well. The story starts before then, in a world I once would dwell. It was a world of waste and wonder, of poverty and plenty, back before we understood why hindsight's 2020. You see, the people came up with companies to trade across all lands, but they swelled and got much bigger than we ever could have planned. We'd always had our wants, but now it got so quick. You could have anything you dreamed of in a day, and with a click. We noticed families had stopped talking. That's not to say they never spoke, but the meaning must have melted, and the work-life balance broke. And the children's eyes grew squarer, and every toddler had a phone. They filtered out the imperfections, but amidst the noise, they felt alone. And every day the skies grew thicker, till you couldn't see the stars. So we flew in planes to find them, while down below, we filled our cars. We'd drive around all day in circles. We'd forgotten how to run. We swapped the grass for tarmac, shrunk the parks till there were none. We filled the sea with plastic, because our waste was never capped, until each day when you went fishing, you'd pull them out, already wrapped. And while we drank and smoked and gambled, our leaders taught us why. It's best to not upset the lobbies. More convenient to die. But then in 2020, a new virus came our way. The governments reacted and told us all to hide away. But while we all were hidden, amidst the fear and all the while, the people dusted off their instincts. They remembered how to smile. They started clapping to say thank you and calling up their mums. And while the car keys gathered dust, they would look forward to their runs. And with the skies less full of voyagers, the earth began to breathe, and the beaches bore new wildlife that scuttled off into the seas. Some people started dancing, some were singing, some were baking. We'd grown so used to bad news, but some good news was in the making. And so when we found the cure, and were allowed to go outside, we all preferred the world we found to the one we'd left behind. Old habits became extinct, and they made way for the new, and every simple act of kindness was now given its due.
But why did it take a virus to bring the people back together?
Well, sometimes you've got to get sick, my boy, before you start feeling better. Now lie down and dream of tomorrow, and all the things that we can do. And who knows, if you dream hard enough, maybe some of them will come true. We now call it the Great Realization. And yes, since then there have been many. But that's the story of how it started, and why hindsight's 2020.
Because if you look at the camera, they know someone's filming it.
Exactly.
Because they...
Good morning, dear Thầy, dear brother, dear sisters, and dear friends. Good evening. Maybe I should move to Asia sometime in the future. Today is May 18th, right? Today is May 18th in the year 2020, and We are at Magnolia Grove Monastery in Mississippi and also in Singapore. It's a great joy to be with all of you here. You know, I prepared for this session a few days ago. I jotted down some notes. And this morning when I came here, 30 minutes ago, I realized that I didn't bring my notes with me. And this is something that happens in life, that always expect the unexpected. And it happens to me a few times when I prepare a Dharma talk and then I forgot my notes in my room. And in the previous time, I would be so fearful and worried. Oh my goodness, what am I gonna say? I don't have anything to look at. But today, while Sister Boi Nghiem did the wonderful sitting meditation, it helped me to calm down and say, don't worry. You know, the lay friends at Singapore, they're very supportive. And there's always a drama, right? So let's see how I will do this without my notes. And hopefully I will be able to share the message that Michelle sent to me and asked me to share about beginning anew. When we talk about the present moment, many people are using the words difficult time, challenging time, chaotic time. Right? Do you agree? If you agree, please nod your head. Nobody's nodding their head. Is it the screen frozen or something? But these are the words that we hear when people talk about the present moment. And I mean, it's completely understandable because of so much suffering is going on. However, as practitioners, we learn not just to focus on the negative aspect of what is happening, but also to see the beauty in it. Just like the great realization we just watched by Tom. And sometimes our body needs to be sick in order for us to feel better. And this is what is happening to many of us nowadays. Oftentimes we have so much conditions of happiness, but we don't realize it. Only when we have a toothache do we start to see that, wow, not having a toothache is a great joy. But how long does that thought last? How long does that feeling of happiness last? 1 month later, when our tooth is completely healed from the pain, from the infection, from the inflammation, then we completely forgot about, wow, not having a toothache is a great happiness. And so I just read on the news that at least 300 people in Singapore are now infected, got the infection again after some period of being quite stable. And this virus is like a wave, up and down, up and down. And our emotions will be like this virus, up and down, up and down. And I realized this when I was helping to take care of my mom who had colon cancer. There were times when she visited the doctor and the doctor said her test result was very good. There were days when she was very weak. The white blood cell was very low, made her very weak and unable to be joyful, unable to smile. And I had to remind myself not to be up and down with this. And so what are some ways that we can help to keep our emotions stable, consistent, and the state of our mind in a positive direction, continues to be optimistic in whatever chaos or dramas that we might have in our lives. And that is to focus on the conditions of happiness that we have and also be grateful. Oftentimes we are so focused on the things that we don't have or the things that we have that give us difficulties, challenges, sadness, or suffering. But how often during the day or during the week do we really sit down and think about the things that we don't have that make us happy? Well, at this moment, no one of us is having coronavirus. None of us sitting here is having a toothache, hopefully. And none of us here have to try very hard to understand what I have to say. Or none of us here have to use a wheelchair to walk, which means our body is quite healthy. Emotionally, we are stable. Psychologically, we are alert. And so when we focus on the things that we don't have, make sure to focus on those things that make us happy. I practice this with my father because in the past, whenever I thought about my father, the things that came up naturally was his hot temper, his anger, his expectation, his speech, harsh speech. Or I would blame that, oh, my dad never say I love you to me, or my dad never did this or never did that, and I'm very disappointed in him. And then one day I started to realize, well, my dad never hit my mom. That's a great happiness. My dad never abandons the family. That's a great happiness. My dad never put me in danger. That's a great happiness. And so we can apply this when we go back to work, when we are at home with our family. Train our mind to think positively and be grateful to whatever we have. And this can help us to start anew. Pay attention to our tendency of thinking before the coronavirus happened, and now how we are thinking. Have we made any changes yet? Have we started to realize something that we didn't realize before? And if you start to see positive changes in yourself, give yourself a tap on the shoulder, say, good job. It's always good to start being grateful to ourselves first. And yesterday, one of the sisters shared with me, she was watching a video on YouTube, and on the side, she saw this video that say, this is the person you should marry. No, who should you marry? And then after watching the video, the message was, you should marry yourself. And when we talk about marriage, right, there is commitment, there is love, there is forgiving, there is understanding. And we need to give ourselves that. We need to learn to forgive ourselves for the negative thoughts that we have had about ourselves, about the people, where there were times when we completely lost trust in others and surrounded by others that we have so much doubts. We regret for having those moments, and for that moment, and why we had those feelings. We have to be vigilant in the people that we're surrounding ourselves with. And that's something that we should also be grateful for, to take care of ourselves, and to take care of our thoughts. And look deeply to see any habits that we were able to transform in these last 2 or 3 months. And once we start to see the positive changes in ourselves, and we are able to see the positive changes in others. There are changes that perhaps only you know, others might not know. But over time, they will be able to see it, and they will be able to feel it. And then that will help us to connect with others better. And so I really don't know when you will go back to work, when our lives will be normal again, when the ordinary things will happen again. But as practitioner, as a mindfulness observer of what is happening around, we can always find the extraordinary in the ordinary. Even if we are at home, even if we are by ourselves, continue to see the beauty in it. Just to remind ourselves to breathe when we are alone, or to smile when we are in front of the camera or in front of the mirror. That is also a beauty. Create good new habits. Perhaps there are certain negative habits that are difficult to transform. And sometimes just put them aside. Put them aside, and we don't have to try so much to transform these negative habits. And what we can do is to create new habits that are good, that are positive. Then without any effort, these negative habits will slowly disappear without even trying. So for example, create a new habit that whenever you brush your teeth, remind yourself, what a great happiness not to have a toothache. Oh, what a great happiness to have a toothbrush. Oh, what a great happiness that I can still use my hand to brush my teeth. Create a habit when you are with your family. As you sit down for a family meal, say silently to yourself, this is a happy moment. I know you are there and I'm so happy. This is how we can do beginning anew. Create a habit that when you sit in front of your computer, instead of rushing to turn on the computer and to go on YouTube or Instagram or wherever, take 3 in breaths and 3 out breaths before you turn on that computer. Yeah, these things are easy to say. Perhaps to be able to do it, it might be difficult for some of us. Create a habit that when our hands are in contact with anything, holding a cup of water, putting your hand on your head, putting on your robe, be grateful. In 2018, I made the aspiration that whenever my hands are in contact with anything, the first feeling I should have is gratitude. Because researchers have said that the more gratitude we have in our hearts, the happier we are. And they say that as long as there is gratitude in the heart, happiness is also there. And so for many of us, we learn to hold hands of others. Remember the first time we held the hands of the girl we had a crush on, the boy we had a crush on, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a partner, right? What a great feeling it was. And now some of us are living alone. We don't have anybody's hands to hold. But there are always 2 hands available that you can hold, and that is your own 2 hands. So let's try to hold our own 2 hands. Are you able to feel the goosebumps that you're able to feel when you held someone else's hands? Are you able to feel the love? To feel protected? To feel the care? To feel the happiness? To feel the electricity in your body that come up and that make you have goosebumps. I've been doing this for the last 2 and 3 years, and it always works. Every time I put my hands together like this, like right now, I would have goosebumps in my body, and it reminds me to come back to the present moment, to breathe, and to use my 2 hands to help others, and to do everything whenever I can, whenever I remember, with gentleness, with joy, and with happiness. So create a habit that you do every day, that you know that you do every day. Let's say we all go to the restroom, right? We all have to urinate and defecate. And so every time you sit down on that toilet bowl, don't be too rushed or too eager to grab that toilet paper because nothing has come out yet. So just wait until everything comes out, sit and breathe and just enjoy that moment of urinating or defecating. And once it's finished, take the toilet paper and then do what you need to do. This is to train ourselves not to rush to what is going to happen next. There is always a meaning in our act. Don't do it like a machine or a robot. Do it and add meaning into it. And so next time when you're in the restroom, remember what I just shared. Don't be too quick to grab that toilet paper. Allow yourself to sit there and to relax. Some of you are laughing, perhaps you're doing it. I used to do it, that's why I had this insight. And I didn't want to, because in me, I saw this tendency of always rushing what I need to do next. And it was very tiring. My mind was not in the present moment. And so insights usually happen when we're in the restroom. So I hope more insights will come in the meditation hall for you. Yeah. So this is how we can begin anew with the ordinary things. And also take care of our health. Perhaps before the coronavirus, we took the advantage that, oh, I'm still young. I can sit in front of the computer for hours. But I don't think we need to feel sick in order to learn something. I don't think we need to be sick to suffer in order to have hindsights. We can have hindsights when we are healthy. Our purpose in life is to be compassionate, be healthy, be kind, and be useful. And we can do all of this in the present moment. So if we have this tendency of sitting in front of a computer for more than 2 hours, like non-stop, sitting in front of the computer constantly for 2 hours, try to remind yourself, encourage yourself to, okay, maximum time I will sit straight at my computer is 1 hour and 15 minutes. And then I will get up and walk around just for 2 minutes. And make yourself an excuse. Drink plenty of water when you are sitting in front of a computer because you have to get up and urinate. And then you have more time to practice mindfulness. Walking meditation to the restroom, pausing while you're in the restroom. Because sometimes we really don't hear what our body is saying to us. We wait until it screams its heart out, and that's when we know when to stop, but that might be too late. And go outside, enjoy the beautiful nature in Singapore. Wake up early and enjoy the fresh air. Let go what we need to let go. The fear, the worry. Because now thinking back in our life, all the worries that we had, they're really like nonsense. It really didn't help to solve anything. And the Dalai Lama say that when something is happening to us, if we know that we can do something about it, why do we need to worry? And if we know that we cannot do anything about it, then why do we need to worry? Just remind ourselves that and practice it will help us to be more peaceful. And our mind is less noisy. Even when it's silence, our mind will be less noisy. Because there have been times when it was silence outside, but our mind was full of noise. And so begin anew. Encourage yourself to breathe more often during the day. Now, many of you have attended retreats in Thailand, in Plum Village. You always hear about us sharing that when the phone rings, we stop everything that we do and we just breathe. We don't expect you to do that at home because that might be difficult. But what you can do is whenever the phone rings, are you able to breathe, continue to do what you are breathing, continue to do what you are doing, but at least remind yourself to breathe? If you haven't had this habit yet, now is a good time to start. And the coronavirus is our teacher. It's helping us to see things differently and to see what is important in life. And I just want to end my sharing with a story. On Friday, I was invited to give a guided meditation for the employees of Salesforce. And the facilitator was sharing with me a story. She said that this morning when she woke up, she opened her closet and saw so many dresses that she purchased in the past. And she said to herself, this is nonsense. Then she looked at her shoes rack, so many high heels. And again, she was shaking her head and she said, this is nonsense. She is just so happy to be at home. Put on a nice shirt with a pajama, not having to wear high heels. She realized that, these material things don't really lead to happiness. It is our capacity to live in the present moment, to take care of ourselves, to be grateful. That will lead to happiness. Simplicity equals happiness. So today I just want to share this, and hopefully we will continue to practice it. And that not suffering is optional. Whatever comes to our lives, we can choose to be happy or we can choose to suffer. It's up to us. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Thank you. My time is up. Thank you for listening.
dear Sangha, let's enjoy 3 sounds of the bell to show our gratitude to our teacher. So let's come back to our breathing. And we can close our eyes and smile in gratitude. Enjoying the non-toothache.
And so is it now that we have questions and answers?
So dear Suko, dear Thai, and dear Sangha, wondering why our president Michelle is quiet. Maybe she's very touched by the Dharma talk. So we, according to our program today, we are now transitioning into short Q&A or Dharma sharing. We did ask some of us there was an invitation for us to bring a question today to our circle or our sort of beehive looking thing here. So if you do have a question, please feel free to just unmute yourself and just say bowing in and feel free to ask the question from your heart. We'll try to look out for you, and bow in, and or you can also paste your question on the chat if you really want to. So Q&A is open. Please share and let's make use of this precious opportunity. Thank you.
Dear Thai.
Dear brothers and sisters, in order to answer this question, I would like to tell you guys my story. Just right before I moving to US, just several months ago, I had a chance to visiting my family in Vietnam for several months. During my staying home with my parents, you know, my father is also a hot-tempered person. Every time he get angry, he's become differently. He, you know, he became like a tiger, very very
mean.
Very mean. Everybody around him can approach him to talk or to say anything, because he's not as father as I know. He's he's no longer as gentle as I know him. Or his word is very sharp. It's like a knife, can hurt anyone. So it is a nature of the person who are getting angry. So before becoming a monk, whenever I face to that situation, I have a habit to react right away or run away from him. But after a period of time of practice mindfulness, understanding and love, I understand underground that he's suffering, and he has a big childhood hurt, wounded childhood. That's why he's expressed his suffering to anyone who he thought bring suffering or irritation to him. So I remember that there was a time when he got angry, and he non-stop speaking, as yelling to everybody in my family. And I just I only become one person there to approach him. And I just I just hug him from behind. So I tell to him that, Father, I know you are suffering, and I'm here. I'm here for you. I sympathize with your feeling, and I'm already here. Don't feel scared. Don't feel fearful, or don't get angry anymore. And I don't know why he just feel relaxed right away, and he become gentle right away after my hurting, and just using my loving speech to him, just some word. And it's like I changed the negative energy in him, become a positive energy right away. So I think the Buddha said that angry cannot heal angry. Only love can heal anger. So I think the positive energy can hold and embrace negative energy, and gradually negative energy will be transformed. So I think for this question, our sister can the book
Anger.
No,
Blooming of a lotus.
Blooming as a lotus. You can open on that book to look for a chapter about how to meditate on your father's childhood. You can look deeply to see your father's suffering when he was about 5 years old. When he was a little boy, maybe he has a lot of suffering when he was a little boy. And during sitting meditation, you visualize you are as a 5 years old girl who is very vulnerable, easy to be hurted, easy to be you are very weak at that time, and you scared of anything. So when you visualize yourself as a 5 years old girl, and you can understand why when your father was a little boy, he also had the same feelings, and maybe he have grown up in the same environment which you are facing with. I think with deep understanding, you can you are able to transform the negative energy into positive energy right away. And even though right now you are still receiving any negative feelings from your father, but if you are able to transform that negative energy right away into the positive energy, you are like a farmer. You can transform compost become a flower right away. It depends on your capacity of recycling. It depends on your practice, your deep understanding. I have to emphasize that your deep understanding. If you have never meditated on your father's childhood or your father's suffering, you can do this. So during sitting meditation, you have to follow that exercise to make your understanding with your father. Whenever you have that insight become your protector. Whenever you already have your protector, you don't be scared anymore, and you don't feel you don't scare that you will receive that negative. You observe that negative energy, and you may transmit to your children. You don't think in that way anymore, because you know that you already have a protector. You already have deep understanding. And as you say that our father or our mother, we cannot escape them anyway. So the only way we can only do is to meditate on our father suffering and make a deep understanding to transform and to see his as a little boy with a lot of wounded inside. So with that insight, we can transform our attitude to our father right away. And that is what I have done with my father. I just hug him from behind and just gently say to him that I know you are suffering and I am here for you. Don't be scared. Because when someone get angry, they beside the feeling of anger, they also feel the feeling of scare. Their childhood is reacting to protect their ego. They're so up that they're very strong. They're very very angry, but in fact inside they feel very weak. So with that action, we can we can make them feel safe, and they can release the negative energy right away. So again, I ask you to maybe open the book, the
Blooming of the Lotus.
The Blooming of the Lotus, to see that exercise, to meditate on the 5-year-old child, to make understanding with your father. So good luck, and that is the concrete practice. And if any of you haven't faced to that situation yet, you can also practice in advance, so that whenever you face with that situation, you can know which medicine you have to take and can protect you to strengthen your inner peace, inner power to protect your mental health. Good luck.
Mm. Thank you so much, Brother Tin Khoi, for sharing so profoundly and eloquently about how we can take care of things when our parents are angry at us. Well, I just want to say congratulations for my father. This is the fruit of your practice. I'd like to share with you a story so that this can give you hope. When I traveled to South America in 2014 for the Wake Up Tour, we visited 6 countries for 5 weeks. And when we were in Chile, there were these 2 sisters who joined the Dharma sharing group. And when they turned 20s, they had to move to Spain to start their own family. Before that, their parents, their dad loved them dearly. They were like the stars in his life. He was very loving, very open, and they were also loving and open to him. But because they moved to Spain, it seems like the relationship changed. Perhaps he missed them dearly and angry at them at the same time for leaving him. They wanted to have a new life. And every time they call home, their father answer very short the questions they ask. How are you doing? Okay. Have you eaten yet? No. You know, this kind of answer, it makes you lose interest in talking to your parents. And because family life didn't work out well for them in Spain, so they moved back to Chile. And whenever they visited their dad, he was very cold. But then they made a promise that every time they visited their father and before leaving, they would always give him a hug or show some affection. And there were times when they hugged him and he stood like a tree. A tree here, I mean, it's like stood very tough and didn't even hug back or pretend to be very, very solid, but with a frozen heart inside with anger. But they continue to hug their father every time. And then one day, while visiting him, and they received a phone call that they had to go somewhere quickly. And they left the house without hugging him. And he turned to them and he asked them, "Where's my hug?" This story is to help us to continue to be patient and be stubborn with our parents when it comes to offering love. Don't let their reaction, don't let their anger take away our compassion and our patience. Remember, this is a habit of your dad. And you know how difficult it is to transform a habit. You just look at your habit and you know that you have tried days, months to transform it, and you are young. And your dad is probably in his 70s or 80s. And for goodness sake, how long this habit has been with him. So if next time he's yell at you, he's angry at you, just say silently to yourself, I know this is my dad's habit, and I promise not to continue this habit of my dad. It is a habit. It does not define my dad. In my dad, there are other habits. I cannot let his anger define him because he is more than his anger. In the past, let us listen to the sound of the bell. Before, whenever I called and spoke to my dad, our conversation was never deep. He shared with me about what is happening in the world, which I can easily find on BBC or CNN, or how people in Vietnam are doing. But he rarely spoke about himself. And I had to wait for 15 years in order to have deep conversations with my dad. So this past month, every time I call him, we spoke on the phone for 1 hour and 30 minutes. I asked him questions. You know, I'm Oprah, talk show style. I asked him questions about when he was in the re-educational camp after the Vietnam War. I asked him questions about what happened to you on April 30th, the fall of Saigon, the end of the Vietnam War. I asked him about his marriage with my mom. I asked him about the 5 significant events in his life that changed him as a person. I asked him about these questions, and he was so open. He is so open. And I could feel his happiness when he shared these things with me. And I'm going to have more sessions like this with him, because I don't want to continue to have conversation just about news or other people. My dad now is 75. I want to know more about him. It took me 15 years. And when the time is right, it will come. Don't try so hard. That is when we fail. It's because we try too hard. If your dad is angry, just let him be angry, as long as we're not angry at our dad. And one day he would realize that. It might take him 15 years, who knows? But we just take care of our part. Good luck, Helen. I think you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Thank you.
So, dear Sangha, let's listen to one sound of the bell. And perhaps we have time for one more question.
Last question, please.
Dear Thai, dear Sangha, dear brothers and sisters, I have a question about boredom when sitting. I find it's probably one of my biggest challenges when I am trying to be in the present moment. It sometimes feels worse than a toothache. It's like, how boring can a person be? And I did try holding my own hand, as you suggested, sister, and it seems to work. I kind of find compassion for my boredom in the few moments that I practice now. But it's one of the big things that distracts me and wants me to go on Facebook or something else. So if you have any tips about boredom, that would be really helpful. Thank you.
I think, Khoi, you're often you're often full of life. Do you ever feel bored? Yeah. It's a good question. It's a very good question and practical question. I like it.
Dear Sangha, as you know that our in Buddhist psychology, our mind can define properly two levels. The first level is the mind consciousness, and the deeper level is our soul consciousness. And let us imagine all the energy or seed contained in a soul consciousness, and in soul consciousness is contained both negative energy and positive energy, and bottom is one of the negative energy, which can make us feel tired, feel no meaningful in our life, and it can make us lose a lot of energy with this feeling. And whenever our bottom manifesting in our mind consciousness, if we are mindful enough, we can recognize right away, and we can become one with our bottom. Otherwise, we be sent into our bottom, and we just see no sense, and everything become no meaning. But as a practitioner, if we are mindful enough, we can recognize and embrace our bottom energy right away. And if we can play with our bottom, it will be take care of, and it will be go back to our soul consciousness. And every time it's manifesting in our mind consciousness, it will be recognized, it will be embraced, and then it will lose its energy, lot its strength, and it's go back to our soul consciousness and become weaker. So that is the practice that we can we can deal with our bottom. And one of the things that we can remember is our feeling of bottom is also impermanent. You can find something else positive to replace the bottom, instead of going to Facebook or finding some romantic song to listen to. You may to listen to a mindful song, or just open a good book which you like the most, to read some sentences which can replace your negative energy right away. That is the practice of replacement. Whenever negative energy rising in your mind consciousness, you have a right, you have your choice to choose which energy should be last in your mind consciousness or not. Our mind consciousness is like our living room, and our soul consciousness is our basement. Which guests we are welcome or not, we welcome which guests. It depends on us. But sometimes if we are weak, our inner power is weaker, our negative energy will be overwhelmed. It will be took over by our negative energy. So in order to master our mind state, we should not wait until that happens to strengthen our inner power. Our everyday doing sitting meditation, brush your teeth mindfully, or drinking water mindfully is the way you strengthen your inner power every minute, every second in your life. And and whenever your inner power is powerful enough, you are able to transform and embrace your negative energy right away. And it is also depend on your capacity of practice and how deep your practice is. So yeah. And I make conclusion. The first thing is to remember that of the feelings of boredom is impermanent. It's only a feelings, and it will be changed anyway. And don't become one with your boredom. If you have mindfulness, you just right away as it is, recognize as it is, and don't wait until you have a negative energy to struggle to transform it. You have to strengthen your inner power in every day, every minute of your life. And that is the three tips that I may like to offer to you. And maybe Sister Boi Nghiem have some experiences.
Thank you, Brother Tinh Khoi. I'm sitting here and listening to Brother sharing, and I'm learning so much from him. I also had the feeling of boredom, like you have sometimes. And then another thought would come to my head is, now you are healthy. You can see, you can walk, you can talk, you can eat. You can do whatever you want, and you are bored. Now imagine if later on, when you are ill, you lay on your sick bed, you cannot do anything. How are you able to take care of yourself? And with this thought, it helped me to wake up, and that state of boredom is no longer present. Like Brother Tinh Khoi say, boredom is impermanent. When I went home to take care of my mom, the last month of her life, she was unable to walk to the restroom. We had to bring, that portable toilet in her room. And at first she was able to stand up and walk to it. Then we had to carry her. Then she had to wear a diaper. And then I started to realize that the things that we see as mundane, boring in our daily life, they are wonders when we cannot do it. When we are so weak that we cannot walk to the restroom, so weak that we are unable to feed ourselves. When we are lying on that bed, our dream, our wish is so simple. It's to be able to walk to the restroom by ourselves. It's to be able to feed ourselves. It's able to go outside to enjoy nature. Our happiness is so simple. And now we are able to do all of that. And we are bored. We need to have a positive mental chat with ourselves, and we need to be firm with ourselves. We have to learn to be our own teacher, to be our own master. People will not be able to see what our thinking is, but only we are able to see that. And we need to stop it when we know it's not healthy. And there will be times we have to even scream at ourselves and say, that is enough. I do that sometimes. Stop it. Enough. Like Brother Tinh Khoi said, we need to replace our thoughts. We need to be selective in what we want to water in our mind consciousness. Because if we're sitting there and we say, oh, I'm so bored, then change your way of thinking and say, oh, wow, imagine of the people who are in a coma. They just want to be able to sit like I am able to sit right now. As a human, one of the qualities that we have that is so powerful is to be able to feel. And once we lost that ability to feel happy, to feel grateful, then that's when boredom can come very easily. At first, it might come only 1 or 2 times during the day. But then if we do not take care of it, it will come more often. So be grateful, be happy that you are recognizing boredom is present and that you're still able to feel when you hold your 2 hands. So invite yourself to feel more, find different ways. Bring your mind back to the present moment in order to help you to feel more. If you go on Facebook, go to the pages that are filled with positivity. Listen to speeches that inspire you. Enough with all the bad news. Perhaps we are very well informed about the coronavirus, but are we well informed about another virus that is called like kindness, compassion? Look out for these videos. And love ourselves. You know, we don't know what might happen to us tomorrow. And so today we love ourselves. We're just so happy to be alive. Just remind ourselves, oh, my eyes can still see color. I still have 10 fingers. How can we be bored if we continue to remind ourselves to recognize the wonders of life? How can we be bored when we know that our family members are still there? We can only be bored when we don't cherish this life as much. We are only bored when we see that we are meaningless. How can we be meaningless? Even an apple has its purpose in life, and that is to give people energy. Even a needle helps to mend a rope. Even an ant has a purpose in life. And if we are sitting here and thinking that, oh, I don't have any purpose in life, tell yourself, stop it. That is enough. I have a purpose in life. There will be times we need to be strong to ourselves. There will be times we need to be gentle and compassionate. We have to learn to be our own teacher. And so, yeah, when boredom comes, smile to it and sing. Let it go. Let it go. You know, this past few days, I've been humming a love song before. And whenever I listen to love song before I ordain, I would think about my boyfriend, you know. But now as a nun, I don't do that. I don't want to do that. And what is nice about love songs in English is just you and I. So now when I say you, I would think about life. I would think about the Sangha. Or I would even think about myself, not my ex-boyfriend. I don't know if you know this Chinese song in English. This is sang by a Chinese singer. It goes like this. This is the time I want to say I love you. This is the love I want to last forever. This is the time to say my love is here to stay. I want forever and never you be mine. I was singing this song from the nunnery to the dining hall, and I thought of the Sangha. And I love the sentence. This is the time to say, my love is here to stay. Say this to yourself more often, to the people that you are with, to the company that you are working with, to yourself. This is the time to say, my love is here to stay. And I want it forever and ever. You'll be mine. But don't say that with your boredom, okay? Say that with your compassion. And say, boredom, you have been in my life long enough. Now I want joy to come. Cultivate joy more often during the day. And don't focus on the feeling of boredom. And then boredom will go back to the stored consciousness, like Brother Khoi shared. So this is the time to say, my love is here to stay, not my boredom. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. I'm going to go with stop it, it's enough. And then my love is here to stay.
So, dear Sangha, let's listen to one sound of the bell. Receive this wonderful question and answer by Sister Rupali and our teachers. So breathing in, my love is here to stay, and breathing out, we smile.
Bowing in, just in case Wiltra accuses me of not saying anything. I forgot my bell. Somewhere far away in the house. Time flies. No, I really enjoy it. It's now 9:22. So we're 8 minutes away from the end of the session. I think we had earlier tried to schedule a Q&A before, Dharma sharing so that more people can share. But it looks like, the Q&A as well as the sharing session has been from Brother Tinh Khoi and Sister Boi Nghiem has been really deep. So I hope everybody has benefited from it. Since this is Wake Up, I feel like we can be less formal. So maybe let me suggest this and we flow a little. Let's do with the formalities quite quickly, which is the dedication of merits. Not that it's not important, that's why we're doing it quickly, but we're just like, you know what, let's just do it. And then after that, maybe we can leave 5 minutes for, just hang out, say hi to everyone. I thought it'd be nice to do a photo. And we can do a photo, Zoom style. Instead of holding your own hands like that, you stretch out your hands like that, or you can stretch out your hands like that, so that you're holding the person above the window or below the window or beside you. Actually, beside you looks better, like this. But let's do that later. Maybe let's start with dedicating the merits. And in classic Wake Up style, I don't think we have time to go with everyone to dedicate the merits by, sharing in the circle, but maybe we can have probably 4 or 5 dedications out loud. You may want to unmute yourself now and just bow in and say who you'd like to dedicate today's sessions and merits to. For those who might not have the chance to share, maybe you can do it silently so that collectively when we recite the dedication later, it can still be, heard and dedicated.
So maybe for the purpose of our Dharma teachers, so when Wake Up meets every week, it's now an online tradition that before we end, we allow whoever wants to dedicate the merits of our practice to speak and to just dedicate merits. So so anybody who feels strongly about someone that you want to begin anew with or dedicate the merits to, please bow in.
Bowing in. I'd like to dedicate the merits to my father. Yeah, thank you.
I'm also like to dedicate this to my father for obvious reasons that I have elaborated for a very long time.
Janelle bowing in. I'm also dedicating this merit to my father. The next time I meet him, I'll ask him for sure how many girlfriends he has.
Dear Sangha, I'm bowing in. I want to dedicate the merits to all the stubborn lovers in the world. Stubborn lovers. I love that teaching by Sister Boi today. Yeah. May we stay stubborn.
Cứng đầu. Cứng đầu trong việc thương ba mẹ mình đó.
Bowing in. So if there's no one else, maybe you can all put our hands together and let's dedicate tonight's session. No, Sister Bonnie, not yet. Put your hands together. We'll do the dedicating of merits, sharing the merits first, and then we'll do the photo taking, yeah? Practicing the trainings, practicing the way of awareness gives rise to benefits without limits. We vow to share the fruits with all beings. We vow to offer tribute to parents, teachers, friends, and numerous beings who gives guidance and support along the path. Hello everyone, the formal session is over. You can all unmute yourself. Shall we take a photo together? I think we need to practice this. Let's see how it looks like. Who is
the same order as everybody.
But the monastics cannot hold their hands.
Who's taking the picture? Sue is taking.
I realized I can't take with
Two hands.
So I'll just
trying to take your hand, Will.
At a count of 1, 2, 3. At 3, just give a super giant big smile.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Got it.
All right.